Hey, today I'm going to show you the techniques I use to make homemade soap. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm up here in the kitchen today, and it's kind of cold outside, so we need to make some homemade soap, and I'm going to show you some of the techniques that we use to do it. And I'm not going to necessarily show you the recipe we use. You can go online and get thousands and thousands of different recipes, but this is more of a technique video. And this is actually one of our simpler recipes that we use. This is our oatmeal milk and honey recipe, and this is actually our best-selling soap that we make. And I'm going to show you some of the techniques, but I don't want to share my recipe because it's kind of proprietary. My daughter, she's a chemical engineer, and she developed all our recipes. But I'll show you some of the stuff we got and things we use. So some of the equipment that you need to start out with is a scale. And we've got a pretty good one. I mean, it's like a $40 scale. And I'll explain that in a minute. And an immersion blender, plastic containers. You don't want to use aluminum, or if you're going to use metal, use stainless steel or non-stick. You can't use that because the lye will react with the metal. Of course, we've got our mold, and this is a silicone mold that we bought this at Brambleberry, and it's a good place to buy supplies if you can think about doing this. But this is a Brambleberry silicone mold, and then I made this little wooden thing out of just some scrap that I had to hold it. You'll see that why in a minute too. So, and I've got my oils already measured out, and I got my lye water. Safety on lye is make sure you do everything you can, especially when you first started. I used to do it outside with a face shield, and you got to be really careful. You put your water in first, and then you add your lye. And everything is based on weight, so don't use any kind of liquid measurements. That's why you need a good scale, because the lye is like, so many ounces, the water so many ounces, the oils are so many ounces, the additives that we're using are so many ounces. So everything is measured, and you got to be fairly precise with your measurements. If you don't, it'll screw up, especially with your lye and your water. Your additives, you can get away with that. So make sure you measure everything correctly, and especially your lye in your water. And the water you use, now you can't, you can use tap water, but the chlorine sometimes, especially if you're using goat milk like we're going to be using, sometimes it'll react with it and turn it a different color. Like sometimes and I don't know why, sometimes it'll turn it kind of a brownish color. I've had it turn an orange color. So this is a distilled water that we're using today. We're going to switch to a spring water. We have a spring about probably a quarter mile on the road that we can get. It's right beside the road. It's a community spring, so I'm going to start using that as our water base. And we're actually revamping all of our soaps. We've been doing it we've been making soap for 5 or 6 years probably, and but we're going to go straight goat's milk or goat milk additive soap, and we're going to go pretty much all herbs, like herb infused oil stuff like that. So we're going to revamping all our soaps. We're going to go straight goat's milk, and that's why we got our goats. Our big reason why we want to milk our own goats, because we're going to use our own goat milk. We're going to use our own herbs. That's in the South, the H is silent, so it's herbs. And like rosemary, we're going to use rosemary, some mint, some lavender. We're going to grow all that. We're going to infuse the oils, and we're going to use them in our soaps. We'll continue making this oatmeal based and honey based, so we're going to always have that. We'll continue to make this oatmeal milk and honey. It'll be a staple, and we're going to make an almond goat's milk soap, because that's really one of my favorites. That's what I'm using right now, matter of fact. So we'll continue making that, and then we're going to add some stuff that we just grow ourselves. So I've got the oatmeal, goat's milk here, and I've got the honey infused in the goat's milk, and I got the oatmeal and all that. So I'll explain all that later. So we're gonna get started here, and I've got my oil pre-melted, and we're using a combination of hard and soft oils, and a hard oil is one that's solid at room temperature. So I've already had this melted. I've done my lye probably about an hour and a half ago, and it's cooled down. You gotta watch the temperature of your oil and your lye, and it's supposed to theoretically be the same, and I used to really check that, and this is pretty cool now. This is almost room temperature, so it's easier if this is cooler than your oil. If you throw it in there right when it's real hot, this will foam up, and you have that volcano effect, and it'll ruin your whole mix. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my lye mixture into my oil mixture, and I'll show you how I do that. So basically I take my spoon and stick it down in there, and then I pour my lye onto my spoon. That way it keeps it from splashing up, because this lye is nasty. I mean, if you get it on you, it's going to really hurt and burn. So that's good. Then I take my immersion blender, and did you see those bubbles come up? I always shake it to get the air bubbles out, and you start hitting it. And I go at the lowest speed with my blender to start with. I usually just stay right there. So. And this is like a $20, I think this is a $22 blender, and we started out with like a $8.99 blender. So you can start with anywhere. You don't have to get the big expensive stuff. So. And you want to go mixing this until trace. And you see how that drips off there into the soap. When it gets trace, you'll see that leave a little print in there. See, it's not quite there yet. So, but every time I pull this out, stick it back in, I get that. See that air? You want to get the air out, because you don't want a lot of air in your soap. You start to see it thicken up, so it's getting close now where I'm going to add my sugar, my goat milk. So the temperature's good. I always go by feel. I've got an infrared thermometer, and I forgot to get it out. Now you see how that's thickened up? So that right there is a light trace or medium trace. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my goat's milk. And I've got my honey already in here, and it's been in there a while. So now when you add this goat's milk in there, it's going to really accelerate this trace, because sugars accelerate your trace. So keep that in mind whenever you do something like that. So just going to pour it in there. Alright, you see how really thick and tracy it is now? You see how much difference that is? And I about waited too long to put that in there. So now I'm going to add my oatmeal, and it just by look, so I don't really measure it out. And I've ground this myself. You can buy it already like this, but it's really expensive for some reason. I don't know why. So I just take an organic oatmeal, and you won't roll. If you're gonna do this, you need like a rolled, it's called rolled oats, and that's the one that hadn't been processed down so much. So, and I just put it in a like a little bullet blender and blend it. Alright, I'm pulling it up and make sure I see some oatmeal in there, and I do. So I'm gonna add just a little bit. I need to save a little because I'll sprinkle it on the top. Alright, I like it. So you can really see how right there's a heavy trace. So I've got my mold here, and I'm gonna get a spatula, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it in here. And I always do it like this. I know that you're not gonna be able to see it very good. Let me turn around this way. And the more you get out of here, the less cleanup you have, so keep that in mind. Cleanup's the worst. So once you add that goat's milk in there, because of the sugar in the milk, and of course the sugar in the honey, I mean, it really accelerates that setting up. You see how thick it's getting, and that really kind of first time I did it, I think I wasted the whole thing because it got so hard on me it couldn't get it in the mold. So a lot of people take like spoons or something and kind of do some nice stuff on the top. And I'm more about function than I am all that much about looks. Then I take a little bit of the oatmeal and put over the top of it. Alright, move this back up. So there you see it now, and this is pretty much in real time, and I'll let this set. You have to let this sit for about At least 24 hours, sometimes 48, and it depends on a lot of it on the weather and how hot it is in your house. So I'm gonna let this set. We'll check it tomorrow, and we'll slice it up. Then you have to let it set for 30 days. But I'm not gonna wait 30 days to do this video. But I am gonna come back tomorrow. It'll be the new day, and we'll take the forms off, the mold off, and see how it looks. One thing I forgot to mention: if you're gonna start, you can go online and get soap calculators. So, and that's how you figure out your how much water and how much lye you need to use, how much oil and all that stuff. So all those calculators are free. So you can go online, and if you think you're going to do something like this, and figure out your own recipes and stuff. So, all right. So we're going to let this set overnight, and we'll come back in tomorrow about the same time, and we'll take the mold off and see how it looks. So we will be live this Monday night, December the 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Mainly I just want to kind of check out my new camera and see how it does, and I got some new software I want to try out. So it'll be a short, little live, maybe 15-20 minutes. Then January 8th, 2024, on Monday night, we'll start going back every Monday night with our live on a regular schedule. So this Monday, December the 18th, we'll do a live at 8 o'clock, me and my co-host. So hope to see y'all there. Okay, it's the next day, and this thing is ready to cut. And last night I took it out of the mold and cracked the sides so it'd dry faster. I usually do that about every one, so we're going to take this out. And I forgot to mention yesterday, this is called a cold process soap making. And there's a different kind. It's called a hot process. You did it somehow in a crock pot. And then there's the melt and pour, which I don't consider it soap making. But one of the reasons we got into this soap making, and people say that lye, is it harsh on your skin? But it is not harsh. Once you mix the lye water with the oils and you blend them together, it turns into soap. Matter of fact, when I was pouring it yesterday, I got some on my hands a little bit, and I just washed it off, and it was like soap. So, but anyway, I'm gonna take this off, and but the reason we started making soap, and of course, the soap you buy at the store is not really a soap; it's a detergent. So, and it would dry our skin out really bad. So we started just looking into making our own. We started making some, and ended up selling some of it. So we've done pretty good over the years, making it, selling at craft shows and stuff. So, but this is, of course, like I said, this is our biggest seller, the oatmeal milk and honey. So we'll go ahead and unbox this, and I love the way it smells. This don't have any additive smell to it, and I kind of like it like that. Craft shows, people buy soap by their nose. They smell it and it smells good, they buy it. But this is really a good functional soap, and it's really moisturizing, and it's really kind of hard to beat, actually. But I made one little mistake. I didn't go down the side, especially on this side. You see right through here. I should have took my spatula and went down the side. I think I kind of got sidetracked. But I'm going to go ahead and cut it. And we don't have a fancy cutter. I just cut it with a pastry knife, and we cut them about 1 inch thick. So, and I'll show you how I do that. It's no big deal. So so this is the point. It's 24 hours, and some of them now you might have to wait 48, but this one's pretty hard. So it's still a little soft. I mean, the reason we cut it and you let it dry for 30 days because it increases the hardness. You could use this soap today if you wanted to, but it's not going to last very long if you think about it, because it's so soft it'll be used up quick. So, but I'm going to cut this, and I'll show you how I cut it, and see how many we get. I can't exactly remember even how many bars we get out of this loaf now. When we first started, we had one that was probably about half the size. I still got it. When I make a lot of experimenting and stuff, I make a smaller batch. And that's the way I would suggest you, if you're going to start doing this, you know, make a small batch until you figure out kind of like how you want it. So anyway, I'm going to cut this and we'll get her drying out. Like I said, we cut it at about 1 inch, and this thing's got a little ruler on it, so a lot of times I just eyeball it. And I try to cut it straight as you can. That's really pretty. It's really pretty. So let's get us some other one. Kind of got to be careful because sometimes I have a tendency to cut them just a little bit small. So yeah, I'm right on 1 inch right there, so that's good. And at this stage it cuts really easy because it's soft. I have took them out and not cut them for a day or two when they needed to be cut, and it takes a while to, it takes some pressure to get them down in there. So this one's not going to make a hole, so that's all right. I'll keep this little one for myself. So there you go. Let's see how many we got here. 15 bars, so that's pretty good, and this right here will give you a good indication of, you can kind of see it drying on the edges right here, the discolor, you know, the different color. And this turned out to be a beautiful color. I like is that light beige color. And it actually dry, this is kind of darker where it's still wet, but this right here will be the final color of it. And I'll get you a close up. Should have done that close up. But this is, you can tell this one's still wet by this color here. So when it dries, it'll be this light, really nice beige color. And smells really good. Smells really clean, really fresh. We don't put any additives smell wise into these. So, you know, I'm really happy with this batch. So. Here's a really good example of how it's drying. So you see the different color right here, kind of like a little circle. Right here's a good dry spot. So we now I have to set this. We've got like a walk-in closet in the front bedroom we don't use anymore. For our bedroom, it's kind of like our little office, and it's kind of a walk-in closet, and we put shed drying racks in there, and we'll take this and put it in there for 30 days. So hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, you can email me or leave a comment, and I answer all the comments and emails. So we're going to make some more, I think, this evening. So we've got 3 of these. We can do quite a bit at a time. You can see how long it takes. It's pretty much real time. It took us about 18 minutes to do it, but we had it all set up. So measuring your oils and getting your line and everything right, so it'd take about 35 minutes to do this much soap. So, and usually we do double batches because we really like this soap here. So like I said, we're revamping our lineup. We usually do about, in the past we've done 10 different kinds of soap. And when I say the 3 different kinds, we use different fragrance oils or essential oils to get the smell. We've only got 4 different recipes that we use. and this is one. Then we have one for an old-fashioned bar. We ain't made that in a while. Might need to make that. Then we have our standard bar, and then we have another bar that's the poison ivy bar is a little different. So we've only got you know, you can take this one recipe and do everything that you want to with it. So pretty much gonna wrap it up. I might do another one when we do the. I think I'm gonna do it when we start with our infused oil, and that'll probably be later on in next year because we're gonna grow on our own herbs and stuff, and you know, start that way. We kind of want to do everything we can on our farm, like our goat's milk. We're going to use and our own herbs, and of course, I mean, we have to buy oils and stuff. So, but anyway, but we're going to try to use as much off the farm in our soaps that we can, and I think it work out better. We really take a lot of pride in this, and hope we do a good job on it. So, hey, hit that subscribe button. Appreciate everybody watching. Support your local farmer. Have any questions, let me know. Leave a comment, give me a thumbs up, send me an email. I hope everybody has a good Christmas coming up, and we'll see you down here on the farm next video.